My name is Natasha Oates. I want to tell you what our topic is of discussion. It is don't let your business kill your relationship. So again, I'm Natasha Oates, award-winning therapist, relationship expert, and speaker. And this topic is so important. Here's what I know. As entrepreneurs, we pour out our blood, sweat, and tears to make this business thing get working and so that we can really earn an income, right? But what happens too often is that the relationship is sacrificed. It's put up on the shelf. I'll come visit you when I can. And oftentimes it leads to separation, divorce, so much drama that we do not want. When you started this journey, you did not say to yourself, you know what, how about I build a really big business and it's just successful and I lose my family. That's not how you thought things would go, but it happens. And I don't want that for you. So that's why we're going to do this segment today. I'm going to give you 5 tips to really help your relationship thrive so that you can have it all. All right, so how about we get started today? I know some of you are saying, you know what? Things are not the way they used to be. Things are feeling more like, the relationship is feeling more like a roommate situation. So we're here to help you get it back to feeling more like that soulmate synergy, okay? So make sure you follow me on Natasha D. Oates on social media or Up Company PLLC on social media platforms as well. That is my private practice for counseling and retreats. All right, so let's get started. The first tip I have for you is have a plan for your stress. I think you know already as an entrepreneur, it's stressful. There's always a problem to be solved. There's someone having questions. There's someone needing you. There's always something to learn. You got to figure out this new technology. Did you do the back end stuff? Is the billing right? It's always something. And what's easy to do is to pull that stress unintentionally and bring it home. It's easy to have an edge on you now, right? And so imagine you already have that level of stress on you, trying to figure out problem solving, training, so you can learn new software, so you can learn how to market better. You already got all this on your mind. And then your sweetheart come in and want to have a talk, like a serious talk about the relationship. It's going to be difficult. The amount of patience you need for the relationship to work well, you're not going to have unless you have a great way to deal with your stress. So that's why the first relationship tip is on how you manage your stress. And some of you might say, I just push through, I just do what I have to do to get by. I'll be okay. I'll sleep when I'm dead, I'll rise and grind. That's not a healthy stress plan, okay? I want you to think about what can you do in the mornings. Have a morning strategy. We can't predict what will happen throughout the course of a day. We can't predict how much time we'll have at night. The most predictable amount of time in a day's worth of time is typically the morning. So I want to challenge you right now to do at least one thing for yourself in the morning. It could be something for exercise related, yoga, running, aerobics, a walk. Pick one and implement it. What are you doing to really rejuvenate in the mornings, okay? For me, I love music. Music gets me in a groove. I love aromatherapy, my infuser with the essential oils, my candles. I'm into reading spiritual literature. What are you intentionally doing to feed your heart, mind, and spirit, to feed your body with the stamina that you need to be an entrepreneur, and with having something left over for your partner? Tip number one, create a stress plan. And if by chance it's after attempts, it's still difficult, see somebody about it. There's plenty of therapists, plenty of wellness coaches that can help you create one. All right, so y'all gonna make that stress plan, right? I know you will. I know you will. So tip number two, have the hard conversations. Have the hard conversations. And I know what you might be thinking. Wait a minute. I'm not trying to have any additional problems, any additional arguments. Why would I want to be intentional about having the hard conversations? And I do mean some specific ones. You know what might be coming up in your business where there's a launch happening, or maybe you're in the beginning stages of your business. It's important to have the conversations about the sacrifice of time that's coming, the sacrifice of finances that's coming, honesty about, you know what, it's going to be tight in the beginning for a while, right? We have to have those conversations because it's better to have those challenging conversations than to be on the other side of your partner feeling blindsided, like they had no idea you were planning on dedicating this many hours in a day. They had no idea that you would not be able to help with the mortgage this month. You don't want to offer those types of surprises. So I encourage you to have some courage, talk about it, talk about what's coming ahead, and give suggestions on what you're willing to do because of those challenges. Are you willing to get a part-time job if there's some financial challenges underway? If you know it's going to take a lot of hours to get this thing to where it needs to be, have you dedicated consistent time slots for each other in addition to those longer work hours you're going to do? You want to show that not only are you committed to your business, but you're committed to your family, you're committed to your partner as well, that not only does the success of your business matter, but so does your partner's needs too. Okay. And I know a lot of people have this idea of, I'm doing this for my family, right? I'm doing this for legacy so they don't have to ever struggle in the future. If they would just understand that and stand down, we would be okay. But here's reality. Nobody wants to be ignored, neglected, taken for granted, put on a shelf. I see you later. I see you when I see you. That's not gonna, by the time that business is thriving and moving the way you want it to, they're gonna be gone. Either physically or emotionally. Because there's a lot of people who are present in relationships physically, but emotionally they have already left a long time ago. And I don't want that for you. So that's why we're going to make sure we have the candid, hard conversations, and we give suggestions of what we want to do because of those challenges. I will also add, be open to hearing their suggestions in terms of knowing that it's going to take more time and more finances. Do they also have suggestions that might make them feel a little bit better about it? Maybe not completely over the top about it, but a little bit better, a little more considered. All right, y'all still with me? Okay, we got our plan for stress, right? And then we know we're gonna have the hard conversations, right? Okay, good, we got it. So tip number three, you gotta have a no work zone. Let me sip on that. Tip number three, you gotta have a no work zone. Not only for yourself, yeah, for yourself too. You got to have like limits and boundaries. You cannot let your business take over your whole existence, every thought of in every day. You have to create boundaries. But in pertaining to your relationship, you've got to decide, okay, this is in this block of time, there won't be any working on projects. There won't be any talk about business. It's just me and boo time. You want to define that. You want to have that set in stone. Otherwise, you're going to always be wanting to work on the business. There's not going to be a rhythm of you keeping in mind to spend that quality time. And what did we say before? If you don't spend that quality time, they're going to leave either physically or emotionally. Okay. So an example of knowing that you are creating a no work zone is you're going to have a consistent date night. Yes. Even in a pandemic, you're going to have a consistent date night. There's things you can do at home if you are strapped for time. Even if it's just going to dinner, going to a park, having a lunch with each other during the week, make it happen. Make it happen. Make your relationship just as important as your business. And I know y'all are saying, of course, my relationship is more important, let alone just as important as my business. But sometimes we do not show that with our actions, with our words, and with our time. Whatever you value is really shown in the amount of time and the intentionality that you do use, okay? Awesome. So we got our stress plan, right? We're going to take care of that stress so that we can have enough patience to be fully in the moment and checked in, right? So we're going to do our hard conversations and we're going to have a no work zone. Like we're going to do our date nights. We're going to have dinner certain amounts of time during the week. We can let it be known of periods of time that's temporary where things are busier than usual, but we always want to have some form of a plan to where we are not a servant to our business, where our business serves our lifestyle. All right. Now, tip number four. Tip number four is zip your lip. You got to know when to zip it. You got to know when to stop talking about the business. So here's the thing. As an entrepreneur, you spend a lot of time thinking and strategizing, problem solving, wondering, is that the right thing to do? Should I try this? Should I do this new software? Should I? I've got these new goals. There's this constant flow of thoughts about the business, and it can unintentionally spill out into your relationship. So consider it this way. As an entrepreneur, you sacrifice so much time and energy, right? It's late nights and early mornings at times. It's feeling so depleted that even after you're done with the work, you barely have nothing to give sometimes, right? It's We can't go on vacation like we used to because you are putting that into Facebook ad spend or whatever it is, right? So consider that your partner is already alongside you sacrificed so much. They don't see you, spend time with you the way that they typically would had you not been an entrepreneur. The finances, had you had a good government job, right? Had you had a good stable job, maybe you would be in a different financial position right now, right? So consider all these sacrifices that they experience. And then you want to talk about the business at dinner and on date night and at breakfast. Like, zip your lip. Okay, zip your lip. Find other ways to connect with your partner. How about you ask about them and how they're really doing what they have going on? You want to make sure that your life doesn't get absorbed completely by your business, including your relationship. All right. Last tip, number five. Number five, let's go kind of through, a breakdown. We talked about the stress plan. We talked about having a hard conversation. We talked about a no work zone. Keep those date nights. And the importance of zipping your lip because nobody want to hear that all the time, right? And this last tip, what got you here is what's going to keep you here. What got you here is what's gonna keep you here. So what that means is I want you to consider what drew your partner to you in the beginning. What did they really enjoy from you? I have some personal questions I want you to think to yourself, okay? How has your upkeep been lately? Mr. or Miss Entrepreneur. Have you let your hair go a little bit? Have you been in robes? I know a lot of us are working from home like crazy now. Have you been in robes and holy pajamas? What are you doing to show interest that you're still interested in your partner? In addition to the date nights, are y'all still kissing? Are we still making love? What's going on here? Are you doing the little things? Are you doing the little things? And for those of you who have been in your relationship for a while, things change. The things that you liked in the beginning or the things that your partner liked in the beginning, it might be a little different now, right? So it's important to check in. Do you even know the type of date night that would be really amazing to your partner? Do you know the things, the type of affection, what your partner's love language is? What helps them feel the most connected to you? Oftentimes, we can get in a loop of just the relationship being about not your business, but about businessy things, chores and bills and the kids and responsibilities. And y'all hear how unromantic all of that sounds, right? So consider what are the little things that help your partner feel the most connected to you, and do yourself a favor, do not guess. Do not guess. This is a wonderful conversation of discussion for a date night or during your zip your lip, no work zone times. Ask. Ask. Don't let there be a gray area. Really know for sure at this part of the journey in the relationship, where are things and what more could you do for them to feel more appreciated, more seen, and more loved? All right, so because I love y'all so much, I do have a bonus. I have a bonus tip for you. So before I give you that last bonus, I want y'all to follow me. Follow me, Natasha D. Oates, as well as Up Company PLLC. All right, bonus tip. You need to make some money. I know y'all are thinking, what kind of bonus tip is that? There's a lot of disagreements with entrepreneurs in their relationship if you're not making money yet. If the struggle is still real and it's been a while, it's been a few years, how come this thing isn't launching the way you said it would, right? One of the important things to do is to uphold your end of the bargain. And I know you're doing all that you can to do it. It is hard. Have you seen the statistics? I want to offer this advice to you. If you're not seeing that traction, and some of you are doing really well and you're killing it in your business, but you still use this advice too. But especially if you're not making the traction, the amount of money that you want to make in your business, get mentorship. Get around people who are seasoned in what you do. Pay for experience consulting from these folks. Do not go at it alone. You go at it alone, well, you see the results, right? I want you to not have a lack of money from the business to be one of the main problems in your relationship. And it can feel like they're not supporting me. They're supposed to have my back. But these dollars and cents don't lie either. And I know it's stress on you. We talked about that stress plan. It's hard. It's hard to do it when you're constantly worried about money. And then, you got those hard conversations continuously happening without seeing much progress. So I would absolutely recommend take advantage of these experts inside of the CEO Sense Summit. Take advantage of connecting with a relationship expert. Hello, don't go at this thing alone. If y'all have questions, I would love for you to reach out to me. Absolutely visit my website, www.upcompany.org. www.upcompany.org. You can sign up for a free consultation, ask any questions that came up from this seminar, shoot us an email. And very importantly, as a couple, you want to make sure you take advantage of our couples retreats. We have one coming up fall 2022. So if you're interested, you want to be the first to know about the details, you want to absolutely go to www.upretreats.com. www.upretreats.com. Thank you all for participating.